Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the show with Mike. T-Roy is here as well. That might have been the fastest launch we've ever had, T.
Yeah, not bad.
That was nice, right?
Not bad, yeah.
We're recording. You ran off your required checklist,
I believe so.
vocalized it, and then boom, we are live.
Gotta go.
Yeah, we're on a schedule tonight. We are meeting with the North Oakland Republican Club.
Yeah. Did you get your hood back from the cleaners yet?
I did. It's in the car, ready to go. Yeah, of course. Of course, it's Republican, so it must be Klan related.
Yes.
Yeah. No, there's some people there that maybe can help us get a little closer to Tudor Dixon, which you and I thought was worth at least a visit to. We're going to meet with, what's her running mate? Is it Sean?
Shane, I believe.
Shane. Okay.
Yep, Shane Hernandez, is it?
Yeah, maybe.
Let's see.
Something like that.
Let's see. Yeah, Shane Hernandez.
Shane Hernandez. Okay, yeah. And Matt was going to hook us up. Matt Marco, the president of the North Oakland Republican Club. It's going to be at the same place we were at the other night, the Deer Lake.
Yes, well,
Right.
the Backcourt Restaurant.
Backcourt Restaurant, yeah.
Deer Lake Athletic Club.
I got an email from Forey a little while ago saying he would have a table ready for us.
Oh, excellent.
Dinner is ready.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Wow.
It should be fun. Not something we would normally do.
Nope.
I think these events tend to be very boring and very one-sided. You know,
Of course.
tend to stay away from stuff like this. But you know, I'm interested in Tudor Dixon. I think you are as well.
I am.
And what her plan is for Michigan. We'd like to get to know her more. And that gives us the best shot. So, yeah, we're going to head over there in a little while. So we got to bang out a show first.
Bang it up.
Bang it out. How was your day? Oh, boy.
Well, actually, my day was okay.
Yeah.
A little follow-up. I haven't even told you this part yet.
Uh-oh.
So had the car issue yesterday. The
Truck issue,
truck
yeah.
that broke down. Went to get it towed. I called. Everything should have been fine. For whatever reason, the first towing company that the insurance company sent out just never showed up.
Right.
So after a few hours,
This was downtown Detroit.
This
so
is in Detroit. Yeah. So
no shot there. You can't get an ambulance for 4 hours. So why would a tow truck be there?
So after calling and finding that out, they sent another. They canceled that one. They sent another one. Right. So after some bullshit, seemed like that got picked up and dropped off. Right. So I never got any confirmation on that.
Yeah.
The guy called me before he got there. Did not seem all that professional.
Shock.
Yeah. And then
What did he sound like?
unprofessional.
Just unprofessional.
Yeah. not all that articulate.
Huh.
So
That's weird.
So then
You don't have an impression, do you?
no, I wouldn't.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't
Smart.
dare. Wouldn't do
Smart.
it justice.
Smart. I tried to see the way I tried to reel you into that.
I know.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're smarter than that.
But so that I never got I had the app on my phone and basically was like giving me updates, but it never said that it was picked up, never said that it was dropped off, nothing. I never got any confirmation.
Yeah.
So I called this gentleman a few hours after he supposedly was picking up the truck. You heard this call.
I did.
I said, yeah.
I filmed some of it.
Oh, jeez. I said, is there, I just want to call and check on the truck to make sure that it dropped off. He was like, yep, click. It just hung up on me.
I
right?
thought you were going to punch me because I was the closest human being to you. I thought there's a chance he's going to come flying across the couch just to hit a person because that was so fucking rude.
Yeah.
Because I heard you and you went through, explained, who you were, what you were calling about. You were very cordial. You were like, I'm just trying to get an update. And this bitch was like, it's already been dropped off. Click. And it was like, no. I just kind of picked up and fucking shuffled out of the room. Like, boy.
So then I made a follow-up call to the insurance company to voice my displeasure.
Which was equally hilarious.
But anyway, so that's where I left it last night. I just assumed it was there and whatever, we'll figure it out. But I woke up this morning to 12 missed calls and 4 voicemails from 3 o'clock in the morning
Holy shit.
because they never got the confirmation either.
Who?
The insurance company or the roadside
Really?
assistance from this clown that apparently picked it up and dropped it off.
Right.
So they sent somebody else out there. So now there's a guy at 3 o'clock in the morning driving around looking for my truck that's not there.
Yeah.
And they are blowing the shit up out of my phone like, Dowie, what's going on? Where's your...
Wouldn't they be able to look and see that you're in the Eastern time zone and go, it's 3 in the morning.
Well,
why would we blow in 12 calls and leave 4
If
messages?
somebody's trying to fucking get their car towed, if I'm sitting there stranded, then yeah, I would want them to call me.
Yeah, but you would think they could look at the paperwork and go, this started at noon.
At 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
The odds that he's still hanging out there in Detroit with his truck at 3 in the morning.
Maybe you don't have a choice. I mean,
probably
maybe
not great.
Probably not great. But it was just the fucking clownery of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And just how absolutely horribly it had been handled from top to bottom.
Yeah.
Poor Cooper, the guy I called from.
Yeah, you lit Cooper up pretty good. He had nothing to do, and he was
had nothing
he
to
was
do
in
it.
such a good mood. He's
Yeah.
like, "Hi, Troy, this is Cooper. How can I help you?" And you were like, "Hi, Cooper, it's Troy. I'm glad to talk to you." Now, and you just fucking pounded Cooper, pounded him.
He took it on the chin like
He
a
did.
champ.
And the best part was, in closing,
Yeah.
you did say, look, Cooper, I know I came in strong, hot, on purpose.
Yep.
I hope, since I know this is recorded, that people will listen to this.
Yep.
And I appreciate you taking it on the chin like a man.
Yeah.
And
I know that you didn't have anything to do with this.
I'm not blaming
No.
you,
No.
but you happen to answer the phone. That's on you.
Yep.
And sorry I had to behave that way, but this is how I felt. He was like, totally understand.
Gotcha.
man.
Yep. Not our first time. So I understand, buddy. Hang in there.
So did it turn out the truck was picked up when they said it was, when that bitch hung up on you?
Yeah. That was a he, by the way.
That was a he? That wasn't a she?
That was the person I was referring to.
Oh, I thought it was a she
No,
that answered.
No, I believe that to be a he, but I think that was that was the person that I dealt with. I had multiple phone calls leading up to this.
Right.
Yeah, picking up a Ram. I was like, yeah, okay, good.
More like,
Yeah, you picking up a fucking Ram and shit? Am I picking up a motherfucking Ram and shit?
Something like that.
Shit.
It was not nearly that cool. It was not.
Shit.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, are you there? No, not yet. I'm going there though. I'm like, okay.
Shit, I ain't there yet, but my ass is on its way and shit.
Like, all right. So he's like, so what do I need to know? I'm like, to pick the fucking truck up and take it where the paperwork says.
Yeah, is that shit a blue Ram and shit? nigga?
And then he gets there. I said, well, all right, if you got any issues when you get there, call me. Okay. So then he calls me 20 minutes later or half hour later, whatever it was, and says, yeah, is it a blue Ram?
Is that shit a blue Ram and shit?
I said, yeah, I mean, it's in a small parking lot.
Right.
It's an '03 Ram. There's
Yeah.
probably not a ton of them hanging around there with a wheel falling off of it.
Shit. You got the license plate number and shit?
So I go,
What's that license
Did
plate
you
number and
not
shit?
have the license plate? He was like, yeah. Is it blah, 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 blah? I'm like, yes. You have what the fuck are we doing here, dude?
yeah.
So, and then he picked it up and just went. I never heard anything else. I never got fucking confirmation that it was dropped off. It's like supposed to be through the app. You get all these updates and shit.
Yeah.
Fucking disaster. When I got a minute, I'm gonna follow up, circle back Saki on that one, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna get the real people on the phone.
I've run into similar stuff with car issues where they third party out who they're using. So you think you're going through your insurance company, whether that's State Farm or Progressive, whatever, and all they're doing is calling some local shitbag.
Yeah.
And if you're around Metro Detroit, you know when you see those tow truck companies, you know what you're dealing with.
Oh, yeah.
And so they'll just be like,
But I mean, I would think that they
pick
have,
anybody. They don't vet them. They don't.
I guess not. But I mean, I would think that you have relationships already in place. That you don't just
yeah,
Google.
especially in a major metro city.
Exactly.
you
That
think.
you have relationships already with certain towing companies. You have contracts or however that goes. I don't know.
Yeah.
Rather than just calling any swinging dick that's got a truck and a phone.
Yeah, it's almost like they open the phone book and just like
Yeah.
A+ towing. It's the first thing that pops up, and
Maybe.
they just
And
call
maybe
them.
that's what it was. I don't know.
That's what it sounded like because they did not seem terribly professional. in
Yeah,
the brief
not at all.
Stuff I
But
heard.
yeah, I had too much else going. Oh, and then the other part was so he did drop the truck off, and then so I called the repair shop this morning just to confirm that it's there.
Yeah.
The guy's like, yeah, but where are the keys? I'm like, I specifically told this lovely gentleman on the phone
Shit.
to put the keys in the drop box at the
Yeah,
at the shop.
Yeah,
standard procedure, I would think, for a tow
sure.
truck.
For an overnight.
Yeah.
Nope.
Dropped it right in the fucking middle and left it right fucking, not even like into a spot or anything, like left it just in the fucking, the guy was like, yeah, he left it right in the middle and we don't have the keys for it.
Say they're behind the seat.
Yeah, I was like, okay, well, I'm betting they're still where I left them for him,
Yeah.
But just
Total pro.
such
There's
such a
nothing
great
more
couple of days.
frustrating.
It's really going well.
This pandemic has done this where you're short on employees, you're short on good workers, and I'm shocked at the amount of local businesses I go to where it's a new world.
Yeah.
They're rude. They don't give a fuck what your order was or what you had coming.
Nope.
It's just like shut doors in your face, ignore you when you walk up and say, "Hey, how you doing?" They won't even give you the, "Oh, good, how are you?" Like, no. Just, I went into McDonald's. I think I mentioned it to you a few weeks ago. Just in the drive-through, middle of the afternoon, I'm out, I'm hungry, and I'm like, I'll just swing by McDonald's and go through, and I'm waiting in this fucking forever line and get up to the thing, and they're like, "Yeah, welcome to McDonald's. By the way, cash only. We can't accept cards." I'm like, okay, I'm probably the last guy to go straight card instead of cash. I fought that as long as I could. Who the fuck is running around with cash on them now?
Yeah.
Luckily, I had, $10 in my, center console that I was able to scratch together after waiting in line for 20 minutes.
I mean,
But I'm like,
if their system goes down or something, they can't help it. It's not their fault.
I don't know how at a McDonald's, card transactions.
Your internet could go down.
Or
whatever.
post then run outside and post that on the thing. So I don't wait in line for 20 minutes because it could have just as easily been that I had no cash on me. And now what? Now I'm stuck in the middle of your goddamn line.
There's nothing worse than the ones with the bumpers to the curb, so you can't get out once you're in
Can't get
there.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough.
Brutal.
Oh boy, I tell you. Yeah. But I did find a quick way to get around those automated phone calls.
Yeah, that was funny as shit.
So every time it came up with something, all I said was, "Shut up!
Shut up.
I want to talk to us.
Give me a person.
Yeah, shut up.
Maybe like,
give me a representative, or give me. I want to talk to a supervisor.
Yeah, we understand. Someone will be with you shortly. Now, just to ask you a quick question. Is there anything else we can help you with? Shut up. I want to talk to a person. Yes, of course. Please hold the line and we will get that person. In the meantime, is there anything else we can help? Shut up. Give me a person. You said it 4 times.
And boom, got to a person.
And then you got to a person. It was the quickest I've ever seen.
Very quick, exactly.
Yeah, it was great.
Really streamlined that process.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. And the way you treated Cooper, he really was a champion, by the way, because Cooper's the one you got to. And they love when you swear at them because then they can just be like, I don't need to take this disrespect and hang up on you.
Yeah.
That's the whole goal.
I don't think I did I?
Yeah. You did.
A
little bit.
maybe. They come out.
You
but
said something along the lines of, what the fuck kind of operation are you running in there? Or what the fuck is your current vetting process?
something along those
Something
lines.
along
but
those
it wasn't
lines,
like,
which was
fuck
not
you,
offensive.
Coop. Yeah.
No, you didn't fuck
one
you,
slipped
Coop.
out. I didn't go hard at him.
Yeah.
Definitely not him specifically.
Yeah.
And at the end, he was cocked and loaded with his whole speech of, really sorry, this, that, and the other. And I was just cutting him off. Coop. I had to cut. He was
ready.
He was going.
Yeah.
Hey, save it. It doesn't matter. It's not you, buddy. I just had to get that off my chest.
I wanted to vent.
Yep.
I knew it was being recorded.
I hope this gets escalated. I hope somebody hears this.
Hopefully someone hears with this interaction. I know it's not your fault, Coop, but
yeah. Go ahead and do the right thing here, buddy, and escalate this call.
And you would think those larger companies could vet better and be like, okay, in all these major cities, when you're talking about the top 20 markets, you would think they would have absolute go-tos, that there would be a line of people trying to get that work from the Progressives and State Farms of the world and Geico's, these big companies that have been around for 100 years, that they would have 1, 2, and 3 that they know that are professional.
Well, it's
because it doesn't seem like that's what they did.
No, but it was a third party. Is their roadside assistance? It's not a division of Progressive. It's a
subsidiary.
Yeah, or whatever. But it's not really, because it's not theirs. It's just a third party that they hire out that handles their roadside assistance. And for the most part, aside from them sending out dog shit people over and over, apparently, that even that was all handled relatively well, quickly, efficiently. Everything went as it should have. So when I pulled out of there at 3:00 in the afternoon, I was confident I was going to get a tow truck within the 90 to 120 minutes that I was quoted.
You would think. That's fair to think.
12 hours later.
Yeah.
So They're blowing up my phone at 3 a.m. because they think my truck got stolen.
Yeah. Is it on the way to being repaired now?
I haven't gotten an update yet.
Yeah.
But I don't think that guy's in
Yeah.
any hurry to call me.
You're going to have an aneurysm at some point. I swear to God, every day it's something new.
I know.
Every day. And the stress level and the heat that you can elevate to, it's like he's going to have an aneurysm.
Yeah, we'll see.
You know? Hang
God
in there,
willing.
T.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not worth it. It's an old truck. Who cares? But
Oh, no.
I
It
know.
has nothing to do with the truck.
Oh, I know.
That's
I know.
the beauty of it.
I know.
I like the truck.
I know. It's kind of cool. It needs a muffler.
I like it. Sounds tough.
We'll say that.
It sounds tough.
Sounds tough. Or white trashy, but whatever. Whatever.
Oh, man.
I'm just kidding. Let's get to what's going on in the world
Shall we?
before we have to head out of here.
We're going to agree.
Elon Musk. Rumors have been circulating as to why he wanted to buy Twitter. Are they really circulating rumors? I think it's pretty clear why he wanted to buy Twitter.
Yeah, I think he was pretty upfront about it. wasn't he?
Yeah, I think so. He said he believes that the Twitter experience can be extraordinary under his reign. Basically, in short, if you're a fan of free speech, I think you'll like his statement. If you're not a fan of free speech, you're going to hate it.
Did you see his little gimmick?
The sink.
Let that sink in.
Yeah.
I was a little put off by that.
Yeah. Well, he comes walking into Twitter headquarters carrying a giant sink.
Yeah.
And
I'm here. Let that
here.
sink in.
yeah.
It's a pun.
Whatever. Did it do what it was supposed to do? Did it garner headlines?
I mean, him walking into Twitter was going to garner headlines.
Yeah.
Just him walking in the door.
Good point.
Without a silly sink joke.
Yeah. Good point. I wasn't crazy about it either, but
I was hoping he was going to come
walk,
like walking in with a box of shit, like as he's passing everybody with walking out with their box of shit.
He's got a flower sticking out, a couple books.
Fucking picture frames.
Yeah,
Things
yeah,
like
with
that.
the family. No, I think it's more of a troll.
Yeah, it was definitely.
You know what I mean? Like, right? That wasn't like
Yes, that's exactly what it was.
let that sink in was nothing but a troll moment. And, honestly, fuck those people. They've been such dicks for so long and so patronizing and so.
I don't disagree with that at all.
Yeah. They've been so dismissive of anybody that questions anything they do.
Yeah.
That, to have someone else go in there and patronize them a little bit, while cheesy,
Yeah.
I get it.
And
I get
I mean,
it.
there was, nobody was hurt in that. It wasn't malicious or anything in any way. It was a silly pun, But
Yeah.
it's kind of like the Trump thing, Just be bigger than that.
Yeah.
Don't.
And I imagine he will be.
I assume.
Yeah, he's not going to be like Trump. But he's Aspergery, right?
Yes.
Isn't that his thing? He's Aspergery?
Yeah.
Well. Anyway, he did release a statement, a letter to employees there.
Okay.
And I'll read it to
Does he
you.
have a list of demands as well?
No, he doesn't.
all
He
right.
does not have a list of demands like they do, which is brilliant. Good way to start off with a new boss. It's awesome. I highly recommend that to young people joining the workforce.
Very effective.
To really come in hot with a list of demands for your new employer.
Especially demanding to keep the head count.
So anything he puts out there is going to be met with, a lot of people thinking he's bullying, he's whatever.
Yep.
So I'm going to read you his full statement and tell me, have me pause at any point.
All right.
And where you can point out, okay, he's being an asshole there, or this, this is what people are going to have a problem with. At any point you feel that,
You got it.
stop me. Okay. I wanted to reach out personally to share my motivation in acquiring Twitter. There's been much speculation about why I bought Twitter and what I think about advertising. Most of it has been wrong. The reason I acquired Twitter is because it is important to the future of civilization to have a common digital town square where a wide range of beliefs can be debated in a healthy manner without resorting to violence. There is currently great danger that social media will splinter into a far right-wing and far left-wing echo chambers that generate more hate and divide our society.
Yep.
So far, so good?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I think I've said that just about verbatim.
Okay. In the relentless pursuit of clicks, much of traditional media has fueled and catered to those polarized extremes, as they believe that is what brings in the money. But in doing so, the opportunity for dialogue is lost. That is why I bought Twitter. I didn't do it because it would be easy. I didn't do it to make more money. I did it to try to help humanity, whom I love. And I do so with humility, recognizing that failure in pursuit of this goal, despite our best efforts, is a very real possibility.
Okay.
That said, Twitter obviously cannot become a free-for-all hellscape where anything can be said with no consequences. In addition to adhering to the laws of the land, our platform must be warm and welcoming to all, where you can choose your desired experience according to your preferences, just as you can choose, for example, to see movies or play video games ranging from all ages to mature. So far, so good.
So far, so good.
I also very much believe that advertising, when done right, can delight, entertain, and inform you. It can show you a service or product or medical treatment that you never knew existed, but is right for you. For this to be true, it is essential to show Twitter users advertising that is as relevant as possible to their needs. Low relevancy ads are spam, but highly relevant ads are actually content. Fundamentally, Twitter aspires to be the most respected advertising platform in the world that strengthens your brand and grows your enterprise. To everyone who has partnered with us, I thank you. Let us build something extraordinary together.
Man, what a dick.
Brutal. Bully.
Yeah.
I mean, I just see bully is what it is.
I can see why they would be triggered by that.
Yeah. It's tough.
Hope they still have those safe spaces in there.
It's tough to hear that. You know, I mean, I read it earlier and I didn't realize that it was as harsh as it was until I just reread that. I'm getting goosebumps and chills. It's hard to deal with such a egomaniac bully.
Free speech is just a dog whistle for hate speech. We all obviously know that. So there's that aspect of it. So even though he's saying the words, we all know what he's really saying.
Right.
It's dangerous.
He's basically what he said. If you were not able to read through the lines there, what he was basically saying is, grab your hoods.
Yeah.
And your, what do they call the Klan robes? Yeah. Grab your robes and
your hoods
and your hoods. And it's time to welcome you back to the platform. Let's go kick these libs' asses.
Here we go.
Is what I heard. Yep. So, yeah, it's going to be a shit show over there for quite a while. I fear.
Boy, I'm excited to see it.
In all sincerity, I am too. I like that he says, you know what, even with our best efforts, this might just fail. And I think that's recognizing that we are at a spot right now where
I don't know if it can be saved.
John Fetterman can actually generate money and votes no matter what. No matter what your eyes told you, no matter what you saw and heard, that's not enough. That's the bowl of soup. It's a bowl of ice cubes, whatever you want it to be. Name the object you're voting for. Does it does it have an R or D next to it? D, good enough for me. Vote for it. And I think he's acknowledging that real thing, and I don't know what it takes to kind of back out of that.
Well, exactly, because he can only do so much. He can only provide the platform for it to happen, but he can't control how and what people do with it.
Yeah.
So it's on them. If it just continues in the same direction and same trajectory, it can't be saved.
Yeah.
So just opening the door and letting the Trumps of the world back in, and giving them their blue check back. I'm sure there's going to be some other tweaks here and there, but overall, that's really all it is to just take it over and take the censoring off. Yeah.
Well, I don't know how much you paid attention to Trump's Twitter back in the day, when you go back years ago, when he was running and then when he was elected to the presidency. It was disturbing. He could tweet something. Now, he could be a bully too. He could tweet out, rhetoric-filled shit that would piss people off.
Yep.
But a tremendous amount of it was like, hey, HBCUs, historically black college and universities, wanted $10 million a year over the next 5 years to keep the ball rolling with what they're doing. I decided that wasn't enough, and so I gave them, $10 million a year going into the future. Like, no, you're going to need more than that to sustain, and I did that, and we came up with this great plan and blah, blah, blah. And you go, wow, that's really cool. Like, when was the last time a president looked out for historically black colleges and universities that are struggling and da-da-da? Well, this fucking guy did it with bipartisan support. People like Van Jones on CNN helped him with that and gave him praise for that. And then you look at the comments, and it's just absolute cancer. Yeah. It's just shit. So even when he does something that everybody can get in line with, you might disagree with him, but you got to give it up for this thing. Right. He actually did this and got it done, and that's really cool. No, they can't do that. Can't do it. 99% of the comments are, fuck you, you Satan, Hitler, racist, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay.
Yeah, because their mind's already made up.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. The facts of the case are completely irrelevant.
Yeah.
It does not matter. The result will be the same.
Yeah.
I mean, the Fetterman's a good example of that. It doesn't matter what he did. He could have gone in there and literally shit his pants.
Yeah. He basically
dropped
did.
trowel and let it run down his leg.
Yeah.
And they've been so brave.
And then jumped on the floor and licked it up.
So brave.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, look at him cleaning up his own mess.
You know,
look at that.
You know where he was 2 months ago? This is real progress.
Yeah.
It's
ridiculous.
And that's my point exactly. That you can only do so much. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Yeah. And it's terribly frustrating to watch. As someone, I don't know when you got on social media, T, if you were kind of early adopter or,
I've never been active overly.
Right.
You know.
Well, you're pretty active on Facebook.
Somewhat.
But I don't know if you got into that when Facebook launched or if it was like years later, like a lot of people.
I don't know, 2010-ish, somewhere in there.
Okay. So I remember when these platforms were first starting out, and as people in radio, it was obvious that this was a way to communicate with people. So we were pretty early adopters of that. And it used to be very much that you could make some benign comment about whatever, be like, oh God, did you see this Fetterman guy? Holy shit. And you could give your opinion. And for the most part, it just stood there. Yep. Some people might agree. Some people might say, you know what, it just sounds kind of mean-spirited to take on someone that had, but you weren't a monster. You weren't declared evil.
You weren't just outwardly attacked.
Right.
Either.
Right.
Even if somebody had an opposing viewpoint, they could
present their viewpoint and listen.
Exactly.
They could listen, and you could honestly take in what they said and rethink and go, you know what? I didn't even see it from that angle, but you're kind of right. I guess that does kind of come off shitty. I still don't think he's fit for office, but maybe I should have worded that differently. And then they'd come back and say, hey, thanks, man. That's all I wanted was for you to understand that, for people that have gone through this or have family members going through this, it's a little insensitive. You could have those kind of dialogues where now, forget it. Forget it.
Those are the dialogues you should have. You need to have.
Yes.
That's the only way.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way that you can expand your mind.
Yeah, and what I found, because I still do that when I was more engaged with Twitter, and this goes back a few years. I've kind of been off Twitter almost completely. But even then, when people would push back on me, I would try to see their side, and I would try to find common ground with them. And I absolutely got to the point where people would go, now this is how Twitter should be used. Look at you guys going back and forth and being respectful to each other.
Yeah.
You can find those in my timeline where it was more important to me to not win that moment. Now I've had some of those moments too,
of course,
where I've shit on people and fuck you and puffed up. But for the most part, when it was a real thing, I did go out of my way to do that. But it seems like that is dead now. Even when you do that and you extend that olive branch,
even if you try, it's not.
You
it won't
try.
Be taken.
It's still met with a giant fuck you, which I just don't understand. I don't know who that makes happy. I don't know who wins in that. If you can't find basic common ground on anything, but that's kind of the reality we're living in.
And eventually you stop extending the olive branch.
Exactly, or you just leave the platform, which is what I did. And I'm anxious to see what Elon Musk brings to the table, and I hope he does what Netflix does, like we talked about yesterday, and puts the hammer down on these people.
Yeah,
You don't think that you can come in here. We can't have 20,000 bosses. I am the boss. I am the owner. If you don't like it, fucking leave.
Yeah.
Well, which is how it would be at any other business.
There's two major problems here, and he's only going to address the one. The one is the in office, the behind the scenes, right? The controlling the narrative, the algorithms, that kind of a thing, right? That's part of it. That's a big part of it. That's a big part of the problem.
Right.
The other part of the problem is the cesspool that it is.
Yeah.
And that's the part that's not going to change.
I think it is. Because if he blows out 3/4 of the staff.
But what the fuck's the staff got to do with it? The people, they're not the ones doing the tweets.
They're the ones behind the scenes that are encouraging and deplatforming the people. So if you take someone and you behind the scenes ramp them up, whatever horrible thing, but they're on the left. And so you prop them up falsely. And then you take someone who has a mildly conservative take on something and you shadow ban that or you block that from reach. Like that's a real problem. So if Elon Musk comes in, opens the hood to Twitter and says, this is how the algorithm works. We want to be transparent. There will be no more. And we saw this briefly when he first said, I'm taking over this company. And they said, oh, shit. Remember all the people that gained 50,000 new followers in an overnight?
Yep.
They were all right-wing people. And it was like, wow, Steven Crowder, Jesse, whatever from Fox News. Like there were a bunch of them. And then the Bernie Sanders and the Hillary Clintons of the world lost tens of thousands of followers overnight. It was like, oh shit, he's coming in, he's going to look under the hood, he's going to see all the shit we've been doing to manipulate this and make it look like, oh yeah, this is a popular argument. Men can have fucking babies is a popular argument. Well, it's not with 80% of the country. 80% of the country laughs at that and thinks it's a joke. But if you look at Twitter, you would think that's a normal, well-rounded argument that most people agree with. So we're going to see really quick when he gets behind the scenes.
But now it's just everybody in the pool learn to swim. Now there's no, I get you the way you're talking about with the shadow bans and that sort of thing, but that doesn't take the people away. It doesn't take the fucking trolls away. It doesn't take the vicious banter away.
But it will if, because you're right. But if Elon Musk does what he says and goes as far as going, no. Everybody's going to be eligible for a blue check. You just have to show an ID, proof that it's you, and that's good enough. You're a real human being with a real address and a real driver's license or state ID, whatever. You get a blue check as a human being. And then every fucking bot, everybody working in a troll farm somewhere in Turkey doesn't get that blue check mark because they can't provide that. We're just creating accounts to stir shit.
Right.
So those all get eliminated because they can't show proof of ID. You can't do that for millions of fake bots. So, I hope everybody gets a blue check mark.
You don't even need an ID to vote. You're going to need one for a blue check?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. And I don't think Elon Musk will give a shit about playing those games. No. He'll go, no, if you can't get yourself a state ID or whatever, and I don't know what you do with underage people, 15-year-olds, 14-year-olds.
Letter from the mommy.
Letter from mommy. Yeah.
If you're under 18, shut the fuck up anyway.
Yeah. No one needs to hear what you have to say. Yeah. Stay on TikTok.
Yeah.
No one cares. But go ahead, T. Go ahead.
No.
Just get one of those reads out of the way. I was going to switch gears, but go ahead.
Well, that's why I was trying to stuff it in there. You got to give me an opening.
You got it.
Hey, opening. Our boy Gabara and the team at Zott Ford and Holly take pride in making buying and leasing new and pre-loved rides simple, fun, fast, and easy. Zott Ford has more inventory now than they've had in almost 2 years, and they receive new cars, trucks, and SUVs every single day. So if they don't have what you want in stock today, they can tag one that's on its way and get it to you sooner. Plus, Zott has got the deals, baby. For example, you can lease a 22 Ford Edge for $242 a month, or fully loaded 22 Explorer as low as $297 a month. And they're both in stock and ready to go. Finally, Zott Ford is still paying top dollar for your trade-in and giving you an extra $1,000 for military and first responders. You can see their inventory and get details at dealsinthed.com and tell them TDC sent you.
God damn it. I just got a message. I felt my phone vibrate a little bit. Notice of a live show, but can't see it. Not doing a show today? I'm like, yeah, we're live now. I don't know. It's probably just one person having an issue, but usually more people will blow us up.
Yeah.
If that's the case,
we seem to be.
Yeah.
I got all kinds of stuff going on here.
All right, never mind. Don't worry about it. We're
All right.
recording. Either way, we're recording. Most people don't watch us on Facebook or YouTube anyways.
We seem to be everywhere.
Amy Schumer labeled Mehmet Oz a bully.
Of course, I told you. Amazing.
Yeah.
So funny.
This is going to be a giant shocker to you, too. She has thrown her support behind John Fetterman following his debate Tuesday night.
No way.
Yeah, isn't that a shocker? I'm shocked by that.
I would have never guessed.
Yeah. The comedian took to her Instagram on Wednesday.
That's funny.
What?
Oh, no, go ahead.
Took to her Instagram Wednesday to share a post that declared that Fetterman has the state's best interest at heart, as she promoted voting for Pennsylvania Lieutenant governor ahead of the midterms. Thanks, Dr. Oz, but John Fetterman has Pennsylvania's best interest at heart. Weird to see a doctor bully someone over a medical incident, but whatever. Also, for Arizona, Senator Mark Kelly is the man. Why do you give a shit about any of this? Schumer, Fatso. Why do you give a shit? You don't live in Pennsylvania.
Nope.
You don't live in Arizona. You live in Manhattan. So how about you shut the fuck up and just don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry about how Pennsylvanians vote. And if they're listening to you, they're morons, because the whole fucking country watched that idiot, Fetterneck, Fetterwoman, whatever, eat shit on that stage the other night. Sorry, don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, she just wants to throw her weight around.
Yeah, she's got plenty of it to throw around. So yeah, whoever she says to vote for, just do what I do with Beth when she gives me a list of
Just do the opposite.
What proposals and what shit that I need to vote on in Franklin.
Yep.
Just do the exact opposite. That's what I do.
Yeah, we need to break these down pretty soon here. Get
What?
all the proposals, the props, 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. What are we voting on? 1, 2, and 3? Is it no across the board?
I think it's supposed
It's
to
either
be
no or yes across the
I think
board.
it's no.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
We'll see.
They usually give you a little lesson breakdown of what it is.
It depends on who gives it to you.
Yeah. I'm just gonna wait for Beth to drop me a note going, make sure you vote yes on proposal 1, 2, and 3, and then I just go, yep, got
Perfect.
it. Vote no across the board.
check.
No problem. John Fetterman's wife, by the way, is facing some backlash, which is great. He's obviously facing scrutiny over his fitness for office. Fetterman participated in an interview earlier in the month with NBC News reporter Dasha Burns, where he used a computer that transcribed the questions being asked so he could understand what she was saying. After she interviewed Fetterman, Burns wrote in part, just in some of the small talk prior to the interview, before the closed captioning was up and running, it did seem that he had a hard time understanding our conversation. Giselle, Fetterman's idiot wife, responded by wondering why there weren't consequences against her. See how we've trained these people?
Exactly.
Anything I disagree with, since I'm on the left,
Yeah.
I
dare
could just
you say anything negative?
Yes.
Like that's
How dare you?
An observation.
right. And so she
She's
feels.
a reporter, right? She's supposed to report.
Can you imagine saying, like, taking on a reporter historically and just being like, are we going to stand for this? The way she explained what she saw when dealing with my basically fucking vegetable-like husband.
Right.
Right? She explained what she actually saw. And even though people are fighting back against this now, so following his absolute disaster of a debate, which everybody agrees with.
Well.
Literally everybody but Amy Schumer's fat ass.
Yeah, I was going to say not everybody.
Yeah. Numerous journalists called for there to be apologies made to Burns over the attacks she faced. Anyone who watched any part of the debate between Fetterman and Oz knows exactly what happened, whether they're willing to admit it or not. And people should read this thread and remember what was done to Dasha Burns to immediately see why people hate and distrust the media, Glenn Greenwald tweeted. This dude impresses me more and more every day.
Yeah,
Glenn
Greenwald.
Yeah, love him. Free Beacon reporter Alana Goodman tweeted, shame on every reporter who attacked Dasha Burns over her Fetterman reporting and tried to cover up what we are all witnessing now with our own eyes. It's Fetterman's wife I don't get. Her first job, only priority is the well-being of her husband. John Nolte tweeted, he's a columnist.
Bit chauvinistic there, isn't it?
Huh?
Seems like a bit chauvinistic.
Yeah, a bit.
Okay.
He should be in a rehab facility. Why would she allow this? What kind of spouse would risk his health and betray his dignity in this way? Matt Walsh, he tweeted, among other things, both Fetterman and Biden have awful women for wives. They could have steered their husbands away from humiliation on the world stage, but they wanted prominence and power more than they wanted to protect their spouses. Pennsylvanians will not have a problem with John Fetterman because he had a stroke, Jim Garrity tweeted. They will have a problem with Fetterman because he, his wife, his campaign, and his party weren't honest about his condition and recovery until it could no longer be hidden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He couldn't avoid it altogether.
No.
He tried to dodge all those debates.
Yeah.
But he had to get out there.
He had to do
They
one.
stalled, thinking it was going to be okay.
I'm still almost most offended of all the stories revolving around the Fetterman debate. The amount of fucking people who were like, why would you put him on that stage? We only had 2 weeks to go. Like, do you understand what's being said by that? I mean, I know you do.
Yeah.
But that is so bad. That is saying, I know we've got an idiot running who has no business being on that stage. All we had to do was do what we did with Biden. Just keep him locked in the basement for 2 more weeks, and we could have won this thing. Yeah. Now you put him out there, and everybody knows now what we all knew.
Now anybody that
totally
was
for office,
on the fence is like, yeah, I just don't think I can good conscience do that.
Yeah,
I tend to lean that way, but
either that or I'm just going to sit this one out.
Yeah,
I cannot in good
vote.
conscience
I can't vote for
us,
but I can't vote for this guy. But I don't know that people even do that. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'd like to think that we would be honest with ourselves. If they tried to shove some Republican up there in our face, no matter what's going on in the state, that we would be able to take one look at that and go, oh, I'm not even going to the polls. I might not be able to click the box for the Democrat loser.
Yeah.
But I certainly can't click it for that. Whatever that dude was just doing on the stage, I can't have that represent my state.
Yeah, it makes sense.
We'll see what Pennsylvanians
We'll see.
think.
Yeah, it's gonna. There's a lot of interesting storylines this year.
Yeah, there certainly are, especially in these swing states.
I'm glad it's only a couple weeks away and get this thing over with.
Yeah, I know. It's what is it? 12 days away now, something like that. The 8th.
Yep.
I actually watched this. There was a neurologist who was on one of the shows last night. I don't know who she was on, Tucker maybe, or I don't know, one of them. And I was kind of half in and out of sleep at midnight, 1 in the morning when I was watching this. But she was talking about the extent of Fetterman's struggles to hear and process, respond to questions. So I'm trying to get her name here, sorry. But she's a neurologist. She said, from watching the debate, I do think he has a type of aphasia, specifically a Broca's aphasia, which essentially means there's been some type of insult or damage to the part of the brain where language is produced, but also language is understood. Dr. Huma Sheikh, a neurologist specializing in migraines and strokes, told News Nation host Chris Cuomo after the debate. It's hard to tell from this how much his comprehension is impaired because that requires different testing. She also serves as assistant professor at Mount Sinai Beth Israel Hospital in New York. Said it's possible Fetterman could continue to recover from his stroke he suffered, but most of his improvement has likely already occurred.
Oh, boy.
So this was the takeaway from this. She was like, look, when you're dealing with this kind of brain injury, it is critical that day one, the day after the stroke, that first 3 to 6 months is where you're going to get the most improvement.
Okay.
So you need to work really hard. Now, Fetterman doesn't strike me as the type of dude who's really willing to put in the effort. You can tell by his looks that he's not someone who is out there hitting the gym every day and working hard to better himself. But nonetheless, she's like, he could be at his best now for good.
He's back on top.
Yeah,
this is as good as it gets.
This might actually be as good as it ever gets for him.
Okay.
Yeah, which is hilarious.
Yeah, that's why they're held off as long as they could, hoping that that recovery was going to be a little stronger than it was.
I wonder what the backdoor meetings were the day after the debate, because they all came out and were like, "Oh yeah, he killed it, absolutely crushed
Draw,
it."
right?
Draw, yeah. Wasn't perfect, but he made Oz look like a real asshole.
Sure did.
You know, all the things they've said. I wonder behind the scenes how many fucking chairs were chucked around the room. Like, which one of you assholes signed off on putting this vegetable up on that stage?
Right.
Who was it? Who was it? You know, his cunt wife is probably going
stuck
nuts.
by the smear ads.
Yeah.
And
all we had to do was paint him as a Nazi and a liar and hide this vegetable in the basement for 2 more fucking weeks. Why couldn't you do it? Who's responsible? But thank God they couldn't.
Yeah. We'll see.
But then again, he killed it. In some people's eyes, he did great. He did great.
Oh man, I think he's gonna win. Is the saddest fucking part.
Do you really?
I think it's not gonna surprise me.
Yeah. Well, it won't. I'd be more surprised if Tudor Dixon won Michigan. I think that debate was such an utter debacle.
Yeah.
Such a debacle that I don't think I think there's a lot of people who are not going to vote for Oz, but I think there's many more people who are going to take a knee and not show up.
Yep.
And vote for that dude.
Well,
you know,
we'll see which way that goes.
Yeah, we will. But, Tudor Dixon, someone asked me today, like, do you think she has a chance to win? And I do.
I do.
I think she's done well, but it's going to be hard.
Last poll I saw showed 2 points.
Yeah, but those polls
I know they're
don't
not.
mean shit. I just don't trust them.
It's not a 12-point, spread. I don't trust them that much either, but that's a lot closer than than I thought.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of other factors involved.
Yeah.
When you think of the economy and all the other bullshit that's going on that's top of people's minds.
Yeah.
Where we're at.
It'll be interesting. No doubt about it.
So
I love that we're seeing some of these cases go up to the Supreme Court. Whether it's the New York Supreme Court who ruled like these COVID vaccine mandates and terminating city employees.
God, that was such a win.
Oh, it was so nice, so nice. It was satisfying because it was so obvious to see, and you felt like they weren't going to do the right thing, and then it gets up to the
Restored
Supreme
a little
Court.
faith in the system.
Yeah, a modicum, for sure. The coach, Joe Kennedy, the Washington State high school football coach, lost his job. That was back in 2015. For praying on the field after games, will be reinstated by March 15th, 23. So is that the off season? That's off season for high school football, right? Doesn't that start in the fall?
I'm in their playoffs right now, basically. State title games are Thanksgiving. So they're I don't know if their playoffs have started yet, or it's real close.
Close. Yeah. So in March will be the off season.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, December will be off season.
Right. But March will definitely be off season.
Yep.
Yeah. I was just looking for clarification, not a smart ass answer. Thank you. So he'll be reinstated March 15th by March 15th, 23. The news comes after the Supreme Court victory in June that ruled 6-3 that the coach was within his constitutional rights when he prayed at midfield after games. Bremerton School District shall not interfere with or prohibit Kennedy from offering a prayer consistent with the U.S. Supreme Court's opinion, the attorneys wrote. The documents also note the school district cannot retaliate against or take any further adverse employment action against Kennedy for conduct that complies with the terms of the court's order. Records were submitted to U.S. District Court for Western District of Washington Judge Robert Lasnik that state Kennedy would be reinstated to his previous position. He served as an assistant coach of the Bremerton High football team before the controversy surrounding his post-game prayers. Justice Neil Gorsuch wrote the majority ruling. Here, a government entity sought to punish an individual for engaging in a brief, quiet, personal religious observance, doubly protected by the free exercise and free speech clauses of the First Amendment. And the only meaningful justification the government offered for its reprisal rested on a mistaken view that it had a duty to ferret out and suppress religious observances, even as it allows comparable secular speech. The Constitution neither mandates nor tolerates that kind of discrimination. Yeah.
Does he get his back pay too?
Good question. He should.
And why is he?
If he did, he'd never coach again because he'd get who knows? That might even be
assistant high school coach.
Yeah, it might be an unpaid position even.
I think they would get something. But what's the holdup? Why by March? If the ruling
they
is
always do that, don't they? Like
why not effective immediately?
Yeah, you would think
this is our ruling. You fucked up.
Yeah,
here's day one of dude back.
Well, I don't know why it takes 2 or 3 years for the college playoffs to kick in where they're doing 8 teams or 12 teams.
Well, you got to.
I understand, but give me a year. Fine, next year. That's plenty of time to get your ducks in a row.
Some of that stuff is scheduled out.
Obviously, it just makes more money. You already have 20 of these bowl games being played, so now 8 of them are irrelevant, where 12 of them are not.
Yep.
And we have the round robin playoffs. Like, okay, they're already playing those games in those stadiums.
Exactly.
Now you just charge more money for them because they mean more.
Right.
Big deal. So, this story always bothered me because of the way it was kind of spun. Like, they acted like this guy going and doing a soft little prayer at midfield, kind of like Tebow would do, take a knee, whether you're doing the cross thing. Yeah. Who cares? It's not my jam, not your jam, but teach their own.
Nobody's making you go do it.
No. And he wasn't making anybody go do it. Nope. There were some teammates, there were some players on his team that joined that 50-yard line speech or prayer afterwards. And then other players on other teams saw that and asked if they could join. Mm-hmm. We see this in NFL fields all the time.
Oh, yeah.
We see this in college fields where, you'll get a group of 100 at midfield. Yeah. Some just walk off the field. Some are kissing fucking family members in the stands, and some are at midfield doing the prayer thing.
True.
No one bats an eye. They acted like the problem with this, though, was that Joe Kennedy could be, or probably was, making decisions about who plays based on whether or not they joined him in prayer.
Showing favoritism
Right.
to his clique.
And so it basically meant that for you to be playing on this assistant coach's football team, you needed to go take a knee at midfield with him to ensure that you could play, no matter your talent level. And there was never any evidence to back that up. No player ever said that. No one accused anyone of that.
Right.
It was just like talking heads said that.
The Weinstein effect.
Exactly. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. So yeah, there was one school administrator who addressed the prayers in 2015, and then he was placed on administrative leave right away. Yeah, let's put him on leave. Kennedy lost in both district and Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. Supreme Court turned down the case in 2019, sending the case back to the district court, which sided obviously with the previous rulings. After the Ninth Circuit again ruled against Kennedy, his legal team resubmitted the case to the Supreme Court in 21. It was accepted. This is just awesome. All I ever wanted
how
was
that all works.
Yeah, I'm incredibly.
And how? I mean, part of my question too is, where's the discrepancy in the law? Why is it that the lower courts denied it,
Yeah.
but then once they heard it, they reversed it?
Well, I think there's a lot more politicization.
Well, there's the fucking problem.
Right.
That's my point.
Yeah. Well, Ninth Circuit, 11th Circuit, 5th Circuit, we know why they bring these cases to those circuit. Like they're
Home courts.
Yes. They are absolutely judge seeking. Like they're looking for a judge that they know has their political beliefs, and so they ram them through those courts, district and circuit court of appeals levels.
Should be disbarred.
Yeah, I agree.
For it.
I agree.
If anything goes into your decision making besides the letter of the law,
Right.
I'll give you very slim leeway on interpretations.
Yep.
But if you're judging based on your beliefs, then you're unfit for the bench.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I remember Jay always talking about this, saying, and I've talked about it 1,000 times, but he would always say working for judges in those courts, when you're he said, my buddies that worked for liberal justices hated it because they never knew how this guy was going to, based on how the wind was blowing or what his attitude was that day, he could completely change his his dissertation, his write-up, his ruling. Whereas Jay and the people that were working for conservative justices, they knew those guys were so grounded in the Constitution, you could get such a fast-forward head start on the week's, month's work because you knew, for the most part, how he was going to rule, and then you could just kind of insert his words in there because you knew he wasn't going to go outside the Constitution. Whereas these guys, depending on how the wind's blowing, can change that.
Yeah, taking their liberties with the Constitution and the laws of the land is.
And therein lies the central difference between liberal justices and conservative justices. And I know the Ed Grabos of the world are going to argue with me ad nauseum about this.
Let's just be justices, shall we?
Yeah. And I honestly, if you can point to the cases where conservative justices leaned on their conservatism to not rule with the law, but instead tried to shoehorn their personal beliefs into it, I'd like to see that. I'm open to seeing that.
Yeah. Well, you could say that's just going to the Supreme Court now. I mean, again, I don't know enough of the ins and the outs of the laws.
Well, I guarantee you can find it based in some sort of constitutional beliefs, right? And the argument against Roe v. Wade was always that it was unconstitutional. Like that's, you know what I mean? Like that's the reality.
But the motive behind it, could be driven.
Sure. So, about what cases are going to accept, you mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. But that one's been waiting to be cherry picked for decades.
But it hasn't until now.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It goes both ways.
Well, I would argue that I wouldn't want conservative justices, and where you would see it mostly is in stuff like Roe v. Wade, to your point, and also in stuff like well, any religious sort of thing where it's like, okay, don't bring your religious beliefs into this shit. You know, I understand you've got this, you know, religious whatever that you ascribe to, and I don't want you bringing that into the courts. I'd rather it just be like letter of the law, you know.
Yeah.
So it's easy to pick apart those ones when you're talking about these really liberal courts, you know, and you kind of look sideways like, what? You know, would you have that same thing if some Muslim wanted to fucking jump on his magic carpet and pray 5 times a day? How would that look if you decided to fire that coach?
Yeah, that's enough of that.
You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't
Knock
you
off
would
that
never,
shitty singing. That's enough of
right?
that.
Yeah, that call to prayer bullshit playing in the back. Like you wouldn't do it. You'd be called a racist. You'd be called a fucking everything in the book.
Yep.
So this guy taking a knee, and you know, and the fact is he adhered to what they said. If you remember when they first put him on administrative leave, he was like, all right, I won't pray at midfield. And then some of his players were like, hey man, we kind of like that.
Yeah.
You know, and he realized that he could do that. It was within his rights, but for a while there, he stopped doing it. You know, and it played out in the courts the way it did. I think it was the right call.
Yeah,
you know, and I would say the same thing if it was some Muslim that wanted to quietly pray, you know. And the thing that's so weird is it shouldn't be shocking to anybody. We see teams at midcourt and midfield all the time, you know, taking a knee in quiet, you know, observance to whatever they believe in. It's not where I'm going to be taking a knee, but you know, or you.
Yeah, no, I mean, they assume they just had the issue more so because it was coach led, which makes it more. If it's the players themselves, it's more organic. If it's the coach, then it seems more, you know.
Do you remember that happening at Harrison? You played football there briefly. Do you remember like coaches or players taking a knee at midfield or anything like that?
We weren't like that.
No,
I mean, somebody might have. But I didn't pay any attention to it. I could care less.
I don't remember the soccer team ever doing that.
No,
you know,
but somebody did. But no, I mean, certainly not anybody from the coaching staff and shit. No,
and not to take away from anybody's strongly held beliefs,
of course.
But I know at that age, there's a lot of things that kids will do to emulate what they see in the bigs, right? Where kids will wear sleeves, you know, on their elbows because they saw Allen Iverson do it first. And they'll wear certain equipment because eye black is a big one. I bet there's tons of players now who are smearing it down their cheeks or doing what Hutchinson does. I guarantee they're not just doing the simple eye black anymore. They're all doing the fucking crazy face paint because that's what kids do. They look up to these guys. They want to wear the same equipment. They want to do the same whatever. They want to use the same calling out fucking, you know, Omaha. Like, you know, that's what they do. So it doesn't surprise me that after seeing years and years of teams taking that knee at midfield or taking a knee around an injured player, that kids wouldn't want to emulate that. Again, not taking away from their sincerely held beliefs, of course. But I bet a lot of that why would it be any different? That they would go, oh yeah, this is what we do. You know, we when a teammate goes down, we get in a prayer circle.
Yeah, that's a weird one to emulate, though, I think.
Is it though?
A little bit.
Because they're dumb kids.
Yeah, I know.
They're going to emulate what they see their heroes doing.
Yeah, that one's. I don't think that's one that they really look up to.
Well, I imagine some of them are putting John 3:16 written on their cleats now that players do that type of shit, and they're writing messages on their cleats.
That's
now.
fine, but not John 3:16.
Well, I don't know. Depends who they look up to.
That's true.
You know,
but then that's already in their belief system. If that's what more my point, that they're not doing. If they don't believe it, they're not going to do it just because they saw somebody else do it. I don't think so.
I think I could have been fucking.
No, you're a pussy. You were fucking easily swayed.
Yeah, I could have been easily swayed by that for sure. If my whole team was taking a knee at midfield, I would have jumped in on that. Guarantee it.
Okay.
I just would have.
I believe you.
Yeah,
sure.
It's not a knock on kids. It's just dumb kids. I wouldn't do it now, but back then I would have.
I just think it's weird. I
Why?
think that one's a stretch. I don't think that's something that they look up to. All the other ones are like cool role model shit.
Yeah, but that shit didn't happen 50 years ago. I guarantee you, if you go to a football game, you'll see that stuff at the high school level. You'll see that probably at every level. I guarantee there are teams that are taking knees at midfield and praying really quick after the game.
Yeah, but I don't know. But I would believe that they're doing it.
You think that's organic?
I mean, I don't think they're like, oh, dude, fucking Tebow did it, so now I'm going to go do it.
Maybe not Tebow, but
No, I think it's they either do it or they don't. I don't think that's something that they try to emulate. I think writing shit and face black, I think those are different examples than taking a knee and praying.
Yeah.
I think it takes
Maybe.
a certain kind of person.
Hey, it's
to
just a
do
thought.
that.
Just a thought.
So,
I don't know.
I was just a retort.
Yeah. I think you're wrong.
Obviously. Hey, insurance. What is it? 516. This one's for you, Brent. I told you. Insurance.
Oh, boy.
We all need it, and most of us don't know what kind of coverage we have or who even provides it. Let fellow TDC listener Brent Wasick from Wasick Insurance Services change all that. Brent has over 30 years in the business and offers all types of insurance coverage: auto, home, health, life, business, commercial, and more. Call Brent Wasick at 734-455-1900 and get a free no-obligation quote today. Again, that's 734-455-1900, and ask for Brent Wasick at Wasick Insurance. I spoke with Brent today. We had a wonderful conversation on the phone. I had some questions about some things for him. But in our text going back and forth earlier, I was like, hey, you got some time later, we can talk. And he said, he goes, yeah, I'll call you at like 5:15. And I go, I think that's right about when I'm going to do your read.
Yeah.
Yeah. 5:16. I nailed it.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
Nice job, T. Were you planning that the whole time?
No.
Bullshit.
No, I just knew how it was going to play out. You know? And then I looked down, I knew it was pretty close. So I was like, I'll do it right now.
Did he help you out?
And then it's still in the. I mean, he has. Yes, there's still some questions to be answered, but no, he was a tremendous.
He's great,
help.
isn't he?
Really great.
Yeah.
Really, really great.
Yeah. Good.
So yeah,
Good. The COVID pandemic was most likely the result of.
A wet market in Wuhan, China.
That's what they want you to believe.
Oh no.
Was most likely the result of a lab leak. According to an explosive Senate report, policymakers said substantial...
Impossible.
Yeah, I know. Policymakers said substantial evidence pointing to a research accident has emerged, while evidence for a natural spillover is missing. The report concluded that China's unwillingness to cooperate or open up the lab in question meant it no longer deserves the benefit of the doubt. It was published today by the Senate Committee on Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions.
I mean, how many of these things have to just keep being proven bullshit over and over and over?
Does it piss you off?
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
Looking at him going, you got to be fist fucking me if you think that anybody believes this shit.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It is infuriating to me, and I've had more arguments with Ed Grabo about this shit, and it's just, I'm waiting for him to call me and go, dude, you know what? Look, I've taken stock in things and my arguments to you, and God damn it, if you weren't 100% right about COVID, and if you weren't 1,000% right about Hunter Biden, and if you weren't 1,000,000% right about Russia collusion, and I just one phone call going, all those things you fought about and bitched about on your shows that I took issue with and fucking emailed and called you out and texted you and called you full of shit. I want to take a giant minute here to say I am sorry that I was so fooled by my partisan politics that I bought all this bullshit. I bought all these lies, hook, line, and sinker, and now I feel like a real dick. I'm too smart for my own good, and maybe it's dumb people like you and Troy who can cut through the minutia, and maybe us smart guys can learn something from you. Because
wouldn't that be nice?
You've been right 1,000% of the time, and I've been wrong literally 1,000% of the time. And I'd go,
Gives me the chills a little bit.
God bless you, Ed. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
You haven't gotten that yet?
No. Don't expect to either. In fact,
I'm
I
sure-
expect now to get a letter saying, here's why you're totally full of shit, why Russia collusion happened, and why...
Double down.
Yeah. John Fetterman's the best politician in the world. We'll probably get that one too. John Fetterman, I can't believe you guys saw it that way. I watched that debate. The guy was brilliant. Absolutely owned Oz. That'll be at Grabo's take.
Massey is probably formulating an email as we speak.
As we speak. As he should be. Yeah. I look forward to reading. Remember when you were banned from all social media, by the way, for even suggesting that?
Yep.
That maybe, just maybe, it wasn't some bat at a wet market? that it might have just been the fucking level 4 biohazard fucking lab a block down the road? Yeah. Remember when you would get banned from everything for that?
Even Jon Stewart came around.
Yeah.
That thing with Colbert. Was,
Yeah, and he almost lost Colbert forever from that. Colbert fucking looked like an idiot and a pussy, but yeah.
Well, that's nothing new.
Nothing new, exactly. God bless Elon Musk for caring enough to try and fix this, by the way, while going from hero to villain in the blink of an eye, which is what we've seen.
Yeah.
You know, this is what I hope happens with him taking over this, like where someone then at the top can put on the brakes and go, no. Anybody that wants to have their fucking opinion, no matter how whacked you think it is, if it's not inciting violence, if it's not breaking the law, if it's not a call to arms, you know, if they just go, hey, you know what, this seems weird. I know there's a bio lab right down the street from that wet market. It makes way more sense that there would have been some sloppy work there that leaked out of that lab and then spread from Wuhan, the center of this. That all made sense to us. And why China wouldn't let anybody in to take a look around or to look at their paperwork. They were shredding everything. You know, that all points to not guilty or guilty?
Generally guilty.
Guilty, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I mean, history has shown us that for the most part, if you're wrong, when you question something, I should say, when you're on this side, when they tell you something and you question it, if there's no validity to what you're saying, they don't bother. They won't. It doesn't matter. They won't suppress you because it doesn't matter.
Good example of that would be flat earthers.
Right. You know, exactly. The moon landing, the JFKs, name it all, like whatever. There's no pushback on any of that. Like, fine, okay, say whatever you want. Who cares?
Yeah.
There's enough evidence out there to show that you're the clown here.
For the most part, you don't even need to push back and go, what a fucking piece of shit.
No.
You know, think about all the people that are going to believe that the world is flat because this flat earth. Like, no. Everybody knows.
But when they start suppressing you and they start pushing back, that's when the red flags go up. Like, why do you... Really? Why do you... What's the problem with me saying this? Why is this such an issue?
And the biggest...
Not because it's not true. It's because it's fucking true. Time after time after time. It's not because it's misinformation. It's because they're fucking facts. And they don't want it out there. Open your eyes. When they start fucking shutting you down, it's because you're right.
And, you know, the biggest thing you can do to be like flat earthers, you know, a lot of those people I got to think they want the response. They want the debate. They want the argument, right? If they're grounded in those beliefs, you know, 9/11 was an inside job. Those people are looking to argue with you about something. The best thing you can do is fucking ignore it. It's like the Klan. The Klan's holding a rally at some
give it
fucking
any credibility,
park.
whatever.
Who gives a shit? Knock yourselves off, kids. Go have fun talking shit to ghosts, to nobody. Nobody should show up. Nobody should give them any, don't breathe any fucking air into, let that flame just burn out. You don't need to give it any oxygen. You know, that's the way we used to do it. But it looks way worse when someone goes, I don't know, man, it just seems a little crazy that a guy that hid in his basement for fucking a year on the campaign trail got more votes than any politician in the history of American politics. That doesn't seem weird to anybody out there? Really? Really? Joe Biden, the biggest clown in the history of the U.S. Senate. Really? That dude picked up 81. Okay. So we can't even question that? Can't even question that. Can't even go, wow. So the first black president ever got less votes than Joe Biden. Okay. All right, fine.
I believe that.
Huh?
Just the inherent racism of the country.
Oh, bullshit. That guy was beloved by everybody. Seriously.
You hate him.
I do hate him. I think he was a shit president. Sorry. I think our fucking healthcare system is an absolute disaster because of him. I think he was divisive as fuck. I think he didn't back police when he should have. And I thought there were a lot of divisive things that Obama went through. I think he was a great politician as far as the way he spoke. And I think he could have been awesome for this country.
So you saying you were getting pushed back when you said that when you questioned the election?
Yeah, a little bit. It's crazy.
Okay.
What are you doing
odd.
over there?
I'm not doing anything. What are you talking about?
It is odd.
I was making a point is what I was doing.
I don't know which election you're talking about now. Obama's or Biden's?
Whatever. Take your pick.
Yeah. It's just, you know, but you should be able to do that. And if people vehemently disagree, then ignore it. If it's such whack job out their opinions, ignore them like you do everything else. Moon landing's fake. Okay, I'm not even gonna justify this with with a retort. Oh yeah, whatever it might be, but you can't with a lot of these things we're talking about today. You can't. You can't
They're
question.
dangerous. They're reckless.
Yeah.
Puts people's
Misinformation,
lives
disinformation.
in danger.
Yeah. Trans lives are at stake. Are they? Really? Okay. Whatever you have to say. Have you heard about this, as volleyball players, as we were, have you heard about this Wisconsin volleyball team?
Is this the one with the dude that fucking gave the Spalding tattoo?
Which was awesome.
That was great.
So great. Loved it.
Awesome for him.
Yeah. It was great for him.
Yeah.
The way he was leaning in and just fucking crushed that ball on that little tiny female net. And just knocked that bitch out cold. It was great. It was great. We need more incidents like that.
Yeah.
If we're ever going to change the road we're traveling. No, the University of Wisconsin women's volleyball. They won the national title a year ago. I believe they beat Nebraska.
Oh, all right. Go Badgers.
And then proceeded to go into the locker room and all take their fucking titties out.
Well, yeah, they go in the locker room. That's what they do.
No, I know, but like showing them off for cameras.
Oh, really?
For themselves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Which was great. Sure.
Okay. I thought I was like, yeah, they go in, they get undressed. It's locker room. That's what they do.
Yeah. No. They were flashing their
put
titties.
their own, like on purpose, like intentionally.
Yeah, like taking the bras up, like, yeah, look at my titties. We won national champs.
Okay.
Shake my titties. That kind of thing.
All right.
Someone got a hold of those damn photos and leaked them.
Oh, or is that up here? Do we have these?
Yeah, I don't have them. They've pulled most of them down.
What the?
But,
Come on.
yeah, go over. There you go.
All right.
Okay. Now, some of those titties I don't want to see. I can tell already. Far right for sure. Don't want to see them titties.
Just racist. I thought you were catching the fever. What happened?
Was. Now, those titties I wouldn't mind seeing.
Listen, they're college volleyball players. I'm sure they're all exceptional.
Not the one on the far right.
Oh, my God.
Jesus Christ.
What is with these two? What are these?
Who cares? Go back to the original two pictures. Sorry, I should have warned you.
No, I know. I gotta show the peoples. I get all caught up.
Look at that.
Titties.
Titties. Look at that. That's 3 girls
Big
in a row.
champs.
4 girls in that picture, all showing their titties. There's a bunch of them pulling their titties out.
Right.
They're very proud of their titties.
They seem
those
to be.
ones on the far right look disgusting.
My goodness, dude. That is. I can't. I'm so disappointed in you.
I'm just fucking with you.
I know.
But I don't want to see them.
Yeah, you do.
They might be. Yeah, I do. All right,
you do.
fine. I do.
See.
The photos leaked online came from one of the players' phones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's someone particularly leaked them, or did they get hacked, or?
Well, that's what they think. And these girls are all pissed off. It's like, dude, your titties are never going to look better than they do in
right.
college,
First of all,
right?
lean into it. Yeah.
Lean into it is right. Your titties will never look better than they do this day, right now.
That's pretty fair.
In college.
Yep.
So, believe me, there are photos of mine from 10 years ago where I remember 10 years ago going, you disgusting piece of shit. I can't believe that photo of you. You look like garbage, you fat fuck. Right? Mm-hmm. I look back at him now and I'd pay $1 million to look like that. $1 million.
Right.
Like, oh my God, you were 175 pounds and you were fine. Mm-hmm. You were judging yourself.
And a little doughy, but still keeping it together.
Keeping it together, no problem with ladies, nothing. Mm-hmm. So, these girls are going to look back, because in 20 years, most of them are going to have giant fat, their hips don't lie.
Yeah.
Giant fat asses. Their titties are going to be sagging, or chewed up from babies.
Yeah. I think it's a little
like,
more the problem with, everybody seeing them.
Yeah, but then, if I took a picture with you and everybody that works here and we've all got our dicks out.
Yeah.
Like, I would just assume I wouldn't have taken that picture had I not expected it to get out.
Okay.
The public, right?
Yeah.
Like, if I was comfortable in a room full of me, you, and E, and, Greg Henson, we've all got our cocks out, shaking them around at the camera.
Okay.
I would just assume, I wouldn't do that if I didn't want more than the 5 people in the room to see it.
Yeah. There's something
am I
about
wrong there?
Maybe this was a camaraderie thing. Maybe this was like they were all doing it for each other as to celebrate as a team, and it should have stayed as a team thing.
Yeah, well, the team didn't leak it.
Okay.
The cops got involved as soon as these bitches found out. Oh my God, our titties are out there for the world.
Amanda, we trusted you.
Yeah, they don't know how the photos came to be online, but they said they are looking at whether her cell phone was hacked. They don't blame the girl The cops know which one. They're like,
Oh yeah, well, you can forensics. You can find that shit out pretty easy.
my guess is it's look to the girl with the most spectacular titties on the team.
She couldn't wait to get them out
Who
there.
really came out looking the best, especially amongst her teammates. Like, I had no idea I had the best titties on the team.
Well, we're
Look
gonna
at
have
this.
to get some. We're gonna have to unpixelate this stuff and really investigate this further to find out, to get to the bottom of this.
That girl looks like she's not a beginner at pulling her titties out, by the way, for a camera.
No, yeah,
You know,
she's
those
got
kind
some-
of hands on hips. Like,
She's
hell
got some
yeah.
girls gone wild in her past.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mark Lavacat, the department's executive director of communications, said, "We're looking into what happened and who may have shared these photos. None of the players are being investigated. We're looking into the possibility one of their phones was hacked." So this is the police department's communications. Under Wisconsin law, it is illegal to share explicit photos without permission, meaning whoever shared the X-rated shots would have needed all 18 members of the 21 national championship winning team to agree to their publication. This is a unique case because of the high profile of the girls involved, and our detectives are working on this case as a priority. Really?
Oh yeah,
This is priority.
Yeah, I'm sure they're really looking at it really hard.
Yeah, I bet they are. An all-male team,
Yep.
all-male team with a handful of lesbians thrown in for good measure,
Yep.
are really looking into this
Deep
case.
diving into it.
Yeah, we're going through all their phones.
Yeah,
to see if
exactly.
there's any sort of evidence we can gather from
we gotta
other
find
images
out.
on their phones to see if this is an isolated incident.
Yeah.
You know, anything like that. Our department has worked on cases like this before. Granted, we were rock hard when we were doing it. But many of
These
them
are our favorite cases.
yeah, these are, as much as I hate to say it, these are our favorite cases because it's so heartwarming when you get to the bottom of this and you can really pinpoint who did the wrong and bring them to justice.
Yep.
It's
No,
not
I
about
don't-
staring at college-age titties.
I don't care how long it takes. This will never be a cold case as long as it's on my desk.
I don't care how many phones we need to scour and how many of their videos, these college co-eds, we need to fucking go through all of their personal phones and find out how many of these images possibly leaked out or videos.
So dedicated to this case that it's my screensaver.
Yeah.
I'm constantly reminded. It's always top of mind.
Yeah, they have those boards with the red strings tying each fucking next
Nipple to
next thing.
nipple.
Nipple to nipple. It's just his whole wall is just titties.
Right.
Yeah, nothing like let's see. Our department has worked on cases like this before. Many of them involve people threatening to put intimate photos online, blackmail. Nothing like that is suspected in this case. And again, this case is unique because of the high profile of the players. The 40 photos and videos leaked.
Oh yeah. Okay.
just saw
how
two
come we
of
only
them.
got two of them? What
We got two pixelated
Yeah,
bullshit
what the-
ones.
We'll have to dig deeper into this.
Who said anything about videos too, T? Mm-hmm. What do those videos involve?
Shake it. Let's see what.
Their
Then we'll
coach-
know what we got.
Their coach going titty to titty, just going,
Motorboat, son of a bitch.
oh, yeah. I told you if we won the national championship, I would motorboat every one of your titties. I don't care how big or small they are.
Line them up.
Just going twixt them.
Big Ten champs. Big Ten champs.
Big Ten champs. Big Ten champs. The 40 photos and videos leaked were taken in the aftermath of the Badgers' triumph at the NCAA Volleyball Championships last December. 3-2 victory over Nebraska was the first time that they'd clinched the title. Included in the large cache of pictures are images showing the team flashing their titties at the camera in delight during a private celebration in their locker room following the win. Now, private celebration, I would assume media would be in the locker room after the win.
Probably not yet. They probably have the time to themselves, and
They
then
can go in,
and
show
then
their
they
titties.
allow media to come in after.
So you think there's someone out there like, hold your cameras, guys. The girls are going to show their titties really quick to each
Yeah.
other.
Yep.
And then we'll
Sorry, the
bring you
girls are
guys in.
going wild. We'll let you in a minute.
The girls have gone wild. Titties are bouncing all over the room.
Right.
So as soon as they're done shaking each other's titties and
Media's coming in just
brrr
loaded
each other.
in beads.
God damn if we ain't in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so guys, as soon as we can get them to put anything, even a towel around them luscious titties, we'll bring you guys in to interview them. But until then, they are just letting loose in there.
Yeah.
They are brrring each other. They're,
I'd be deputized to help out on this case if you needed.
Yeah, you'd be great.
I would.
I mean, who could examine titties better than T-Roy?
Right up in there. I know.
Right? I
Yep.
mean, that's right in your wheelhouse.
Yep. Well, a big picture guy.
Yeah. Current members of the team are also featured. So if you're watching University of Wisconsin volleyball, you can just handpick like half that team's titties are out there somewhere.
Yeah, well, some of them will be easy to pick out.
The leak was revealed October 18th when members of the volleyball team realized, oh man, our titties are out there on TikTok.
On TikTok?
Yeah.
That's where they went? Can you show titties on TikTok?
I guess
Titty
that's where,
Talk?
that's where they first saw him on Titty Talk. Yeah. And then they immediately went and whined to police. Our titties are out there. Well, who put them out there? I don't know. We took the pictures, obviously, of our titties, but we didn't put them out there. Despite the leak, the player's performance appears to have been unaffected, with the Badgers racking up. See the way they said racking up
Yeah.
a 3-0 and 3-1 victories over.
What?
Who do you think they beat so far this year?
Oh, this year.
Yeah. They racked up victories.
I don't know.
Michigan and Michigan State, man.
Oh, all right.
Oh,
yeah.
Big Ten.
Big Ten,
That
yeah.
was a fucking toss.
That's fine. I don't
Nerf
care.
toss.
I'm thinking tits. I don't give a shit about who they played.
I know. That's true. All right.
Hey,
yeah.
this part of the show is sponsored by The Party Pub. If you want to impress everyone at your graduation party, wedding reception, poker night, MMA viewing party, Big Ten championship locker room celebration, or for any other reason, you need to contact The Party Pub. It's a massive inflatable pub that can be set up wherever you choose. We also have all the best party games, beanbag toss, badminton, giant inflatable screens, axe throwing, and much more. Call Jeff El Jefe at 586-524-6701 or visit thepartypubrentals.com and take your event to the next level.
All right. Before we get to some email, which we have, and I'm going to have to put someone in place, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, they're
okay.
trying to get a little too close to you, and I don't like it.
All right.
Yeah. So just looking out for your best interests.
Okay.
Unless you tell me to back off.
All right, we'll see.
Unless you tell me to back off. So I have a. This happened in Europe. There was a radio station taking callers, and some guy admitted he's got a pros and cons list about his girl, and I found it kind of interesting. So there's 2 pro and con lists about guys and their girls, and I wanted to kind of go down the list
All right.
to you and see if you think, based on the pros list and the cons list, whether you would hang in there or you would
Gotcha.
sayonara.
Okay.
Deal?
Yep. Do I have to agree with the pros and the cons, or can I?
Oh, you can. I mean,
Disagree
I'm just going to show you,
what
tell
the
you
lists are. Okay.
what his pros and cons are for his girl, and then based on the pros and cons list, you decide whether or not it's worth hanging.
So if
in
he's
there.
like, oh, the cons, she has the biggest, perfect, most unbelievable tits. I
Right.
can't even stand it. So
Yeah, well, you could
may
look
not
past
be a con
that.
for me, and it
Right.
may be able to switch that to the pro category.
exactly.
Noted. Just checking the rules.
So the pros, she gets along with his mom.
Okay, that's a pro.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
She has big tits.
So depends on how big.
She has big boobs. He says.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know what
that
that,
can
means.
that can go from a pro to a con.
Yeah, it can because
Yes.
with big boobs, a lot of times comes big everything else.
Yeah, and so too big is too big sometimes.
She's a great cook.
Pro.
That's a big pro, right?
Yep.
She has a cute dog.
Pro.
She gives great massages.
Pro.
She looks hot but not slutty.
Big pro.
She has a private Instagram.
Okay.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get why that would be a pro. She is pretty without makeup. Like that. She is horny all the time.
Yep.
Big pro.
Yep.
Okay. She's open-minded,
Okay.
which is how you're going to get the threesome rolling.
Sure, of course.
You know what I mean? Or
Yeah, yeah.
or the anal discussion. Break ground on that. Open-mindedness
Not lost on me.
is key to that, right? Yeah. It's not just about like, why are you being so racist? You should be more open-minded. The black's not that bad. No, it could just be like, let's talk anal.
Sure.
Yeah. Cons. She refuses to shave her wax.
Oh, natural. Okay.
Big problem.
Okay.
Big problem.
All right. Everything or just the box?
It just says she refuses to shave her wax. I'm assuming that means legs, pits, box, asshole,
Wow.
Ho Chi
yeah.
Minh Trail,
I mean, there's a big difference. I mean,
neck.
wow. Okay. All right. All right.
I've dealt with this on a small level where in the winter we're going to take a knee
Yeah.
on some of this shit.
Oh, yeah.
I'm wearing pants all the time.
Yep.
Still bothered the shit out of me.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to be fucking leg
Jesus.
wrestling with some goddamn wildebeest.
Some of those fucking
in bed.
hippie chicks in those sundresses at the Dead shows, man.
Yeah.
You really had to fucking hang in there.
Yeah.
You know, you had to really.
Oh, I
want
know.
it.
I know.
Okay. Yeah, that's a pretty big con.
That's a pretty big con.
Yeah.
Second con, she's put on weight.
Well, you can't have it both ways. You're just talking about how hot she is and all this shit, and then she's put on weight.
Well, she could still be hot and put on weight, and now you're worried that she's going to keep putting on weight.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
she's taking you for granted.
That's a
She's packing on
variable. I'm not
pounds.
going to put it necessarily into the cons. Totally.
She sniffs her dental floss after flossing.
Oh yeah, that's fucking weird.
That's weird, but it's not a deal breaker in my book.
No, not based, head to head on a lot of the other pros.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can overlook that stuff because you can just
If
like,
he
hey,
said-
babe, just do me a favor, sniff it all you want, just not in front of me.
Yeah. What if it was she wipes her ass and then sniffs the toilet paper? Right?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like it could be that. I'd rather have the dental floss sniffer than the
worse.
fucking toilet paper sniffer.
yeah. Maybe that's just a breath check.
Yeah.
It's the equivalent of. Yeah,
She smells like vintage clothes.
like mothballs.
Yeah, I guess. Or your local Salvation Army.
Okay, which that's not appealing.
She has very bad morning breath.
Hence the sniffing the floss.
Yeah.
She's a little self conscious about it. A little chronic halitosis on her.
She doesn't like spicy food. Well, who gives a shit? Get your shit extra spicy and have hers not spicy.
That's fine.
It looks like he's stretching on some of
Yeah,
these
exactly.
cons. She is taller when in heels.
Well, fucking moron. Everybody is.
Well, here's the thing.
I know, but that's the stupidest statement I've ever heard.
Here's the thing. I read a little deeper into the article. So he just says she is taller when in heels. What he negates to mention is she's taller than me when in heels.
Yeah.
That's what he's self-conscious about.
Okay.
Which I get. When Beth threw on 3-inch, 4-inch heels, it was like, bitch, what are you doing?
That's not a con. I mean, that's just, listen, if you're 5'8" and she's 5'7",
Beth and I,
she's going to...
5'9", 5'7" and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's going to throw on heels. She's going to be taller than you.
Yeah.
So that's not...
It's not something you ever have to worry about, Troy. So you don't understand this unease.
Yeah, well...
But to just say she's taller when in heels, well, no shit. Everybody's taller when in heels.
All right,
the problem
taller
you
than
have
me.
is taller than you when in heels.
Still fine.
All right,
Who cares? If
so you're
she's-
still in. You're still
if
dating
she's
her
smoking hot
with giant titties
on your arm, you're going to be like, man, because she's over,
Yeah,
fuck off.
she bites your fingernails.
Okay.
It's a big
Right.
deal. She can't drive.
She's a woman.
It's kind of endearing. Yeah, right.
I already knew that.
I don't get this, and maybe this is a European thing.
Uh-huh.
Maybe you can understand this. It's food related. She calls a sausage sizzle a sausage and bread.
No fucking
Okay,
idea.
good.
Yep. All right.
Good. All right. So you're still with her.
I'm still going back to the Sasquatch situation.
Yeah,
to
me
see
too.
what
I
we're
was
really
just
dealing
gonna
with
say,
here.
dude. Yeah.
I mean, again, if everything else is good and there's just big natural wild bush, maybe it's not that bad. I mean, you can probably deal with it. But if it's everything else, you got the pits, the arms, all of it.
Yeah, I think so.
The fucking
Yeah.
stash coming in nice, like
Yeah. Hairy neck. Ho Chi
yeah.
Minh Trail.
yeah.
You know, the
With the nips, the
all
hairs
the
around
hairs
the nips.
around the nips. Well, what about between the end of the vagine and the start of the asshole?
Oh, the taint.
Yeah, that taint region can
yeah.
get out of control.
With the quicksand down there.
All right, I have another list. So you have not dumped that girl.
Not
Depending on the
automatic.
Sasquatch level,
no, there's
obviously.
a lot of very good qualities on the pro list. I think a lot of the cons are somewhat superficial. So,
So this is a chicks list.
all right, of the dude.
Yeah.
And I got to figure out if I'm still going to bang the dude based on the
Or if
pros
she's
and
being a
cons.
cunt.
Okay.
Pros.
Checking the rules.
He looks after me and knows me really well.
Okay.
Of course, chicks gonna say, he smells really good. I love his eyes. I love his laugh. I love his hugs. He's good at cuddling. I love the way he says, I love you. I love when he holds my face. I love his kisses and the way he uses his tongue. He likes to watch my movies, even though he doesn't like them. He comforts me when I'm sad. He tells me I'm beautiful and loves me for who I am. He thinks I'm pretty without makeup on. Cons.
Are these the same two people?
No.
All right, just checking.
Yeah.
That was the most superficial list I've ever heard in my life.
Was it? Well, comforts me when I'm sad. I love the way he kisses.
Smells nice. I like it's.
He thinks I'm pretty. It's me. He thinks I'm pretty without makeup. He thinks this. He looks after me and knows me. Yeah. God.
No, she's a cunt already.
Yeah. Cons. I hate the way he looks when the sun is bright. All right, she needs to go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Right there.
Enough.
He never listens to me. But I thought he.
Yeah. All right. Nope. She's the problem.
Cuckoo.
Yeah.
Cuckoo. He has gained weight and looks fat. All right, bitch. Jesus Christ. He's lazy. He doesn't want to travel. He avoids confrontation. He avoids talking about important things. He can't sing. He wants to have sex all the time. He spends too much money. He doesn't save. He doesn't want to save. He doesn't want to move out of his mom's house. He drinks too much. He has too many clothes. He doesn't want to plan a holiday. It's so hard, I don't even know what to do. Settle down, bitch.
Bye.
Run.
Yep. Be grateful you dodged that bullet, sir.
Yeah.
With your smelling good and fancy tongue.
Yeah. I like the way he looks at me, but he is fat and lazy.
Yeah, take your talents to somewhere else, son.
Yeah, sorry. We're done. We're done here,
Yeah.
sweetie. All right. Okay. This is the email I wanted to take issue with, T, on your behalf.
All right.
I don't mean to do that usually.
Yeah, I have read it, sir.
I have questions for T. Rizzy.
Okay.
Yeah, all right, you're already off to a bad start.
Okay. Yeah. Stay in the lane.
He's got enough nicknames.
Yeah, exactly.
T. Roy doesn't need more. Hey, Mike, it's Eric from the other night at the Backcourt restaurant.
Okay.
I like Derek.
Yeah, I did too.
I have some specific questions that I'd like to ask T-Roy pertaining to becoming an electrician and the training involved. I don't know if it's weird to ask for his phone number or if I should just continue to email you.
Definitely just email Mike.
You know what, Eric, I'm going to give you Troy's cell number. Hit him up a lot. I just assume you wouldn't want to be some kind of middleman in a conversation between me and T-Roy. No, 100%, I would not.
It's actually his favorite thing.
No.
in the whole world.
No, make no mistake about it, Mr. Ewell. I want nothing like to be the middleman in this boring-ass conversation at all. Either way, let me know so I can better prepare myself for this career. If he doesn't have time, I get it. But if he can spare a few minutes, it would be greatly appreciated. If he doesn't mind reaching out via phone, my number is this. Slick move there, Eric. Nice try. He knows that if you text or call his number,
you're gonna get mine.
You're gonna get yours.
Yeah. Now when I fucking block it,
Yeah.
How do you star 69 or whatever? And
does that still work?
it? I don't know if it does or not.
Eric was a great guy. Hopefully he'll be there
was.
tonight.
He was.
I enjoyed talking to him.
Yeah, maybe we can kill two birds with one stone, perhaps.
Yeah.
We can have another rooftop discussion.
What do you need to do? Just tell him where to sign up to start
Couldn't tell
electrician
ya.
school?
I don't know. There's some very specific questions that he has for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, about being an electrician. You should learn electrical theory. Start there. And righty-tighty, lefty-loosey.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one to learn.
The rest, they'll teach you.
Okay. Hey, Mike, the problem with the Harvey Weinstein issue for me is not that they all did it and didn't do anything about it. To me, the issue is that they got up on every stage they could find and praised him until the shit hit the fan. Then they were all victims. There are so many actresses that could have come out years ago and blown up his bullshit and helped tons of others from having to go through it. They didn't do a damn thing and now want to be a victim.
Yeah, that's what I said. It took one person to be like, "Oh my god, they're all talking about like, yeah, and I hated it." And they're like, me too. Hashtag me too.
Yeah. Yeah, but
They're all like, yeah, that's just the game. Like, well, we should sue.
In their defense, I would say that it's not quite that black and white, that there are plenty of examples of people that voiced their concern about someone's behavior and it was just blown off with, well, look what you're wearing. What did you expect?
Yeah.
Or, shit like that, where women have definitely been.
What'd you think was going to happen when you went to his apartment at midnight?
Right. Exactly. Oh, you thought it was smart to have 10 cocktails with him and then not put out? What's the matter with you? So for those women who have for years and years and years been blown off or told to just fucking deal with it, sweetheart, this is a teachable moment for you. You should have known better than to go to a party with a bunch of horny guys at it and not expect to get fucked. So for those people, seeing people get taken seriously for the first time, maybe ever, on some of those, Me Too type movements, and then going, wow, okay, they didn't just get dismissed. This makes me feel comfortable enough to come out. I understand that,
Of course.
on some level, I do.
Yep.
But so it's not quite as simple as that. But I know what you mean. That it could have taken any one of you, uber wealthy celebrities, to jump up there and take the bullet for a lot of people that couldn't have taken that
the
bullet
lesser
for themselves.
names,
Yes.
The Jennifer Lawrences of the world.
The Meryl Streeps of the world, the Uma Thurmans of the world.
Whoever had to go through that. Exactly. You've earned your chops. You don't need any of that anymore.
Exactly.
So
You're paid in full. You've made yours. Your career, your name, your wealth is all intact. You could have come out and taken that bullet and gone, by the way, I want to be on 60 Minutes, or I want to be on with Barbara Walters, and I got a story to tell.
Yeah.
And you go on one of those interviews and you go, Harvey Weinstein, the biggest movie producer in the world, is nothing but a fucking rapist monster. That's what he is. He's a troll throughout Hollywood. No woman gets a part in one of those movies that he's in charge of without putting out, sucking his dick, fucking whatever.
Yeah.
And it needs to stop now. And all it would take is one of those brave women to come forward and say that, and on those types of terms, and you would change everything.
Hasn't the Corey that's still alive made a career out of that?
Corey,
Which one's Feldman?
oh, Feldman, yeah. Talking about what
Hames-
he's going to disclose about.
Yeah, something. He spent a whole life saying what he's going to tell, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. I believe him.
Hey, too. But what are we doing here, buddy?
Yeah. No.
What are we
I know.
talking about?
Let's go out with it. Let's go. It's not about you making a profit. It's not about you being able to make enough money on this to afford lifetime security.
Yeah, he knows once it happens, it's
done.
He's done. His moment is over.
He wants to guarantee security for his family and blah blah blah. Well, sometimes you just got to fucking
Yeah, you should
be
have
the
focused on
martyr.
acting then.
Yeah. Or just be the martyr. Be the martyr and go, you know what? I'm willing to take a bullet for the greater cause. And I'm tired of watching children get raped on these sets. It happened to me. It happened to the other kid, Corey. Yeah, Corey Haim, not Feldman. It happened to Corey Haim, apparently.
Allegedly.
And big names involved. Charlie Sheen, I think, was one of them that fucked him on behind a trailer on some set, was one of the
Allegedly.
accusations. Yep. I didn't say it. They did. Anyway, Film Insider is a crew member from Brad. Hey guys, love the show. Even since the riff, I'm an assistant director on film and TV sets and have some hilarious stories about stars and egos. Love to talk and give you some stories. All the love, Brad.
Be rad.
Be Brad. That could be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
reach
see.
out, send another email, Brad. Maybe we can.
Follow up with that.
We
Circle
always
back.
love hearing from.
We're gonna need to
people in
vet
the
that.
industry.
Make sure that he's not full of shit.
Yeah, we're gonna need a resume. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Like, tell us what you've worked on.
Let's look him up. Check his IMDb.
Exactly.
See if we're dealing with some legitimacy here.
Hey, let's call it there because we got to get going, T.
Got to get.
We're running late. Thanks everybody for joining this week. We certainly appreciate it. We'll be back next week to do it. We'll try to do some extra content. Although you're going to be gone for part of the weekend at least.
We'll get something.
The DFast show that was scheduled for tomorrow, I've got a very important meeting I can't move. So I think we're moving that to Saturday as Greg Henson is going to be in town. He's going to the Michigan State game.
Nice.
And so I've asked Isis to come over on Saturday. I think Greg's going to be able to make it in studio. And so we're going to push that back a day.
Well, there you go.
And do a DFast
I
show
can see. I
on
can see
Saturday.
Isis's boner from here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. That works out great.
Exactly.
Sorry, I will missed all three of the G's.
Yes, exactly. All right, everybody. Have a great weekend, and thank you for joining us. We'll do it again next week. We'll see you then.